Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Generic Garage. On today's episode, we need to build some headers for the Ranger. We got a bunch of parts in from Summit, J-bends, mandrel bends, whatever you want to call them. You know, those. So we're going to be cutting those up. We got some parts in from Stainless Headers Manufacturing, Inc., and I'll show you what that's all about in a little bit. Some hardware, a few things for the valve covers. We need to plug up the oil dipstick hole in the block with one of these things because we have an oil dipstick tube that goes into the Canton oil pan. We're going to be playing around with some of the 3D parts, seeing if we can't come up with a good header design. Hopefully we can get that knocked out today. It's been kind of a weird week. Mark left back home yesterday, and he's been living here for 4 years, so that's, you know, it's sad to see him go. So house is all empty and I got it to myself, but we'll be all right. I just need a couple days to adjust. And then it rained last night, so it's a little cool out, but now it's starting to get humid, so hopefully we don't get too worn out. All right, stick around. Well, right as we were about to get started here, it started raining just a little bit. I guess we don't care too much. I guess we'll just get started, we'll get working. Hopefully it doesn't start pouring down. We got some clouds coming in. I looked on the radar and it was just kind of sporadic thunderstorms, so hopefully it's not that big of a deal. You see, it's pretty clear out that way, but all the wind's blowing in from that way. So, whatever. Well, here's what we got going on here. I went all over Summit and Jegs and a couple other websites looking for specifically the header adapters for these AFR heads, and these also work for the TrickFlow. They got that dual pattern in there. Stainless Headers Manufacturing, Inc. They were the only place that seemed to have these. Now, they make these with just the flanges, or you can also order them with the little adapters on the end, the little pipe adapters, and you can order them in all the different sizes of tubing that you need, and they'll press fit them in there for you. They still need to be welded, but that's okay. These look fantastic. These are made out of steel, not stainless, because our current welding setup is not set up to do stainless, and I didn't want to have to spend all that extra money. So these are exactly what we need to stick onto these heads. Now, there are a few issues, but we'll get to that in just a second. We have a bunch of these J-bends, and the important thing about these J-bends is that they come in different radius bends. These are all 16 gauge steel, but you can see that one radius is different from another, and that's going to be important, and that's the whole reason we made a bunch of different 3D radius bends. There's a 6-inch on the yellow, and then the blue is a 3-inch. I could not find some of the mid sizes that we 3D printed in the mandrel bends. There are a few that I just couldn't find. Okay, so yeah, like a 5.5-inch radius bend was not something I was able to locate. So we printed a bunch of parts that we're actually not going to be able to utilize. But that's okay, we can work within the confines of what we're able to find. I designed these header collectors so that we can have something to connect all the pipes with at the back. I only have one of these right now. I might need to print more. This is a shorter version of one of those header flanges. It's like the green one, because the first thing I did when I got this stuff in the mail was to kind of just stick it on the head and see how it looked and what issues we were going to be running into. These are directional. You can see these kind of have a chamfer on this side and nothing on this side, so this is the side that would go on the driver's side, for instance. It is raining now. This is ridiculous. I might need to set up the canopy. Let's just get in here real quick. So, you can see that would want to sit right about there, and the first issue we're going to run into is that cylinder back there. That's totally just going to want to hit right on our steering shaft. So we're going to end up cutting this one short, but that's why I 3D printed a shorter version of the mock-up header flange, so that when that goes on the motor, we can do pretty much an instant turn down. That's sitting right there. We have a lot more clearance. So the game plan is to bolt all of these flanges up to the heads and then just start snapping on components, trying to get them collected down and back in the motor. And we'll see what that's going to look like. And the goal, the real goal, is to be able to pull out that entire mock-up, you know, straight up and out, or maybe even straight down and out, without having to pick up the motor at all. So we have a lot to try to work with here, and hopefully we can get it taken care of. So I'm gonna start trying to do a mock-up and maybe set up that canopy, and hopefully we can get something going on real quick. May have picked a bad day to do this. It just, I think it's gonna be doing this all day long. Not cool, not cool. I'm gonna shut this. This might be a delayed video, guys. I thought it was gonna be just, you know, light scattered thunderstorms, but this is kind of turning into a day ruiner here. Not sure we're gonna be able to get some work done. If this episode is a week late, I really apologize. I can't control the weather. I had a bunch going on this weekend. I think next weekend is a 4-day weekend, so hopefully we can get the truck running then. I'm not exactly sure what to do now, because we really need to be under the truck there, and it's pouring. Yeah. I guess we can wait a little bit and see if the weather clears up and try again in 30 minutes or so. I don't know. Kind of some clouds that aren't looking too good. All right, take a break. All right, everyone, it is the next week, and it's a nice, bright, shiny day out. We got the canopy set up, and I don't think it's supposed to drizzle or rain until maybe about 3 o'clock. So let's see how far we can get. We left off right where we were. So here we go. Well, it has just become painfully obvious to me that we did not print enough of the 2-inch radius bends. I'm gonna need a bunch of those, and I think those are the bends that I bought the most of. You know, the other thing is that yellow adapter back there that we printed to be a little bit shorter to clear the steering shaft here. It clears it all right, but I think we could go with about another 1/4 inch shaved off of that. It looks like what I should have been doing this entire week is I should have been 3D printing more components, and I should have taken some time during the day to look at this, because those little yellow adapters, those take about 9 hours to print. So I think we're gonna stop, redesign those little yellow adapters, take off 1/4 to 1/2 inch, and definitely print 8 of those, and print a bunch of 2-inch bends, because I am running out of those very quickly. I may not even need these 6-inch bends. We'll find out. I can cut these pretty short. Yeah, because they, about 1/2 inch away, they get back to about a normal size. Maybe 625, maybe like 5/8, maybe even 3/4. We're gonna take a break here for a little bit, go jump on the computer, get some more of these things printing. I am looking at this and I'm going, there is no way I'm gonna get any of this to work the way I need it to. Everything's real close. All right, so here is the SolidWorks model of that short adapter. Pretty straightforward. Started off with just the base flange. Created a plane a specific distance away, and then created a loft for, let's see here. Yeah, at that certain distance away on that plane, created a diameter, and then we had that original shape from the flange, lofted it, did a shell on it, and then cut that out, did a few more parts for extrudes on the top here so that we can mate up with the other 3D printed parts. Created those little indicators so that we know the rotation of the parts on the flange, and then just added in some chamfers here. So that's pretty much it. So really what controls this whole thing is the distance, that plane distance. So from this surface to this surface, we are at 1.06 inches, and we were saying we could take a 1/4 inch off, and that's looking just about right. So let's see what happens if we change that to a 0.75 and rebuild it. And it comes, ooh. It's more of an extreme profile. I don't know if we're gonna be able to fit the screws in there. Jeez. I don't know that we're actually gonna be able to use the inner profile. We're probably gonna have to use the spread profile on the headers themselves. I don't think I want to wait 2 days. I also don't know if I have 307 grams of material left. Something tells me we're not going to get this done this weekend. That really stinks. Well, what does this preview look like? Let's see where the supports are coming in at. Yeah. Okay. Well, the supports actually look good. I'm not seeing any supports we don't need. I think the most important thing right now would be to get these flanges done. So I know we spent a bunch of time doing this, but let's get rid of these 2-inch ones. Funny enough, when I was designing these, I happened to get the flange thickness and the initial, those green ones were actually the right height for what was sent to me, and that was before I even found those adapters, those header flange adapters from that one company. Yeah, so 1 day, 1 hour, and 42 minutes. So if we started it now, we would be done by 2 o'clock tomorrow evening. All right, I went through all of these. None of them have 185 grams. I think we have like 140 on the blue and 150 on the green. I'm gonna take that off and see how much we have up there, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna split this up. That's what we're gonna have to do. So we'll do 4 and 4, which will bring us, some of these will be printed quicker than others, and then we can get going while the other side is being printed. So we can get started for now. All right, let me go separate those files for 4 and 4, and then we'll get this going. All right, we got the blue PLA put on here. We have about 140 grams of that. We cut the number of exhaust mounts down to 4. That should finish up sometime about 13 hours from now. So right about, 1 o'clock now. So about 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll have an alarm set, and we will come out and get the other 4 printed out of green. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and shut all this down because there's not much else that I can do. I wanna make sure that all of those are the same mounts. So we're gonna wait till all 8 are printed. It'll be tomorrow for me, but I'll be back in just a second. All right, everyone, it is the next day. It rained all morning and we had to wait for it to clear up, but now we have some sunny skies, so we can all enjoy a nice 4th of July outside without having to get wet. We finished up printing these flanges. I had this printer going all night, and these are, well, they're almost done. We did finish the blue ones, and we keep getting shorter on our flanges. but I think we finally hit right where we need to be. These fit perfectly in here. I did not have an issue getting the screws on. I think they were actually better than the yellow and green ones, and we have a lot more clearance now to work with. However, we are running out of these 2-inch radius pieces, and I am out of filament. So I'm gonna order some more filament, and in the meantime, I'm gonna try to get as far as I can constructing this mock-up. And if we can finish one side, we'll get it catted up, and that way we have an idea of what we're gonna be trying to make out of the metal pieces. So until then, yeah, we're just gonna keep chugging away and seeing how far we can get. All right, everyone, here is what is going on. Right now, we have a mock-up on here that looks like it's gonna work pretty well, but there is one caveat to this. These are 1.75-inch centerline radius bends, and I was not able to find 1.75-inch centerline radius bends, kind of like I wasn't able to find the 5.5 centerline radius bends. What I was able to find just now was the 1.75-inch mild steel, 16 gauge, 1.75-inch radius, but it's only in a 90, 21 bucks a pop. We only got 4 left. So if we were to go with the 1.75-inch centerline radius, like we have mocked up here, I would need to clear out that guy's inventory. And it's really unfortunate that I can only find the U-bends in that radius in stainless, and even those were pretty hard to find. I was playing around with the 2-inch stuff here, and everything I did, it looked like I could make it clear, but something was gonna have to come off the Ranger to install the headers. Either I was gonna have to remove the the steering shaft or something else, or pick up the motor a little bit, and I'm trying to avoid that. I want it to slide down in there. So I can show you a mock-up here real quick of what it would look like trying to use 2-inch diameter, or 2-inch centerline radius bends, but it's not looking pretty. I'm gonna have to, on this one right here, I'm gonna have to come up and then go back, or maybe Yeah, see, that's the issue, because I need to be able to get to the spark plugs. So I can't go this way, because that'll block access to the spark plugs. I'd have to come up and go way out and over and down. And I think that would end up blocking the spark plug at the back there. So we're kind of at a point where I need to print some more pieces, and I probably need to order some of those 1.75 centerline radius 90-degree bends from Amazon. So we're gonna end this episode right here, not having made very much progress, and we will see what we can come up with. I'm gonna work on this tomorrow as well. I definitely wanna get this going. In the meantime, I might try to do the passenger side, just because that looks like it'll be a lot easier. So I'd like to thank you for sticking with me, and I'm sorry we didn't make as much progress, and I'm sorry the video is late, and just the weather's not cooperating, and so many things have been going on that I just haven't had the ability to get this much further. I will continue to work on it, and we will be back, and in the next episode, hopefully we will have, at least at the bare minimum, some CAD models, and maybe even start welding up and cutting some of these pieces. So, thank you very much for sticking with me. I will catch you guys on the next video. Y'all stay safe and have a great week, and I'll see you later. Bye.